Maybe it was tossing him around. He felt the wind. The wind was maybe blowing spray up in his face, and he looked around and saw the storm. And when he saw it, he was afraid. And what happened? He began to sink. Now, I don't know how long it takes you if you're walking on the water. I don't know how long it takes you to sink. I'm guessing it's not like quicksand, you kind of go down slowly. I think you go pretty quickly. But here's Peter. He's going down, and he realizes it, and he says, "Lord, save me." And again, immediately, Jesus reaches out and catches him. "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" Everything was going fine for Peter until what? Until he stopped looking at Jesus and started looking at the storm. He was doing fine up to that point. It didn't matter what the wind was doing. It didn't matter what the waves were doing. He was walking to Jesus. But then he stopped looking at him and he started to sink. And as soon as he started to sink, he cries out, "Jesus, help me." Now let me just ask you a question that there's no way we know the answer to. Do you think Peter could swim? I kind of assume yes. I mean, he was around water all the time. He was a professional fisherman. He was out there all the time. So I'm guessing, yeah, he could probably swim. But isn't it interesting that he doesn't swim back to the boat and say, "Fellas, haul me in"? He says, "Jesus." His first thought was, you know what, I can't do this on my own. I can't handle this. His first thought was to cry out to Jesus for help. And he prayed one of the shortest prayers in the entire Bible. "Jesus, save me." There are times when a quick prayer is all you can do, right? You just say, "Lord, help me in this. Lord, please." When you're about to drown, it's time for a quick prayer. And of course, no sooner were those words out of Peter's mouth than Jesus is there. And immediately he reaches out his hand and catches him up. "Oh, you of little faith," he says, "why did you doubt?" Okay. That phrase, "you of little faith," is one word in Greek. And literally, a literal translation would be little faith. I think it was kind of like, you're not Rocky now. You're little faith. You're faithless. You're not strong. You're weak. You're not the man I called you to be. Oh, why did you doubt? Peter had the faith. Now notice, Jesus did not rebuke him for wanting to walk on the water. That was not the problem. The problem was that he started to doubt. And he took his eyes off Jesus and he began to sink. Peter had the faith to get out of the boat, but he didn't have the faith to sustain him. He began to question. Okay, quickly, to wrap it all up, I just want to make a couple of applications here. I got 2 lessons I'd like everybody to take away with them today. Lesson number 1 is, if you're going to walk on water, you've got to get out of the boat. Now, that's not original with me. Duh. Right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. Okay, right now you're thinking, way to go, Captain Obvious. If you're going to walk on the water, you can't stay in the boat. You've got to get out there. You've got to jump out. Let's stop and think about it. Peter wanted to walk on the water, and Jesus said, "Come." He never would have done it if Peter would have said, "Well, I'm kind of liking it in the boat right now. I'm kind of safe in here. I don't know what's going to happen if I get out there." And you're never going to walk on water. You're never going to do great things for the Lord as long as you stay safe in the boat. So I'm not going to be critical of Peter because he sank. I want to applaud him for being willing to get out of the boat and walk to Jesus. Nobody else did. Not a one of them did. A person cannot stay in the boat and be out of the boat at the same time. You got to make a choice. You got to make a decision. Am I going to trust the Lord enough to do what He wants me to do? If he says come, am I going to go? Even if it doesn't look, maybe even safe to me. Seems pretty simple, but it's a tough choice, right? It was Helen Keller who said life is either a daring adventure or it is nothing at all. Here is a woman who overcame so much in her life. She was born deaf and blind, and somehow she was able to find a way out of her darkness and to interact with the world around her. What an inspiring story. Well, let's apply what she said to our spiritual walk with God. Our spiritual life is either a daring adventure or it is nothing at all. To walk with God is to walk by faith. And to walk by faith requires us to step out into the unknown. Just take a look at men and women in the Bible, and you'll see again and again and again that their faith requires them to not be afraid to just lay it on the line for God. I mean, we just looked at Abraham. Look, he stepped out on his journey to Canaan, and much later he took that knife and lifted it to sacrifice his son, because that's what God told him to do. By faith, Moses stood before Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." Esther stood unannounced before the king and said, "Here's what's about to happen to my people." David accepted the challenge and took 5 stones and a sling and killed the giant, not because of his power and strength. He says, "You come to me with spear and shield. I come to you in the name of Almighty God." It's interesting. This is not the story of Matthew walking on water. It's not the story of John or James or any of them, because they all stayed in the boat. It's Peter. And as long as you stay in your comfort zone, in your little cocoon, you're not going to sink, but you're not going to walk on the water either. Right? So you've got to be willing to get out of the comfort zone. I mean, what is it God's asking you to do? Will you do it? And if you're never willing to step out of the boat, you're not going to accomplish what God wants you to accomplish. Okay, lesson 2. To continue walking on the water, you got to stay connected to God. Stay connected to the Lord. You got to keep looking at Jesus. You got to focus on Him. It's not enough to just jump out of the boat and start walking. Once faith gets us out of the boat, you got to keep focused on the Lord. Peter learned that lesson pretty quickly, didn't he? He really did. And just like Peter, you can't stay up by your own strength, by your own personality, because you're just such a talented person. None of that matters. The only thing that's going to matter is keeping your eyes on Jesus. I heard a preacher illustrate this idea based on a conversation he had with a man in his church who is an investigator with the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board. He goes out and helps investigate plane crashes. Big plane crashes, small plane crashes, he does it. Well, he was talking, and he said, thinking about small aircraft, he said the #1 cause for a small plane to crash is not the equipment. The #1 reason is not a failure of some. I mean, it does happen sometimes. He said that's not nearly #1. He said instead, the #1 reason a small plane will crash is an inexperienced or an undisciplined pilot. Because an inexperienced pilot often will refuse to trust the instruments that are right there in front of them telling them what's going on. They'll think, it seems like I'm banking, and they'll overcorrect the other way and crash. Or it seems like I'm climbing, but they don't trust the instruments that are right there in front of them. Does anybody here know a Christian who crashed because they stopped looking at the Lord who's right there in front of them and stopped doing what His Word says, and they started doing what they felt like they wanted to do? I know a few, and you probably do too. So here's our lesson. Step out of the boat. Obey the command of the Lord. Don't play it safe like the guys who stayed in the boat. But let's be like Peter, who took the risk and walked on the water. And 2,000 years later, we're still talking about it. Number two, unlike Peter, let's keep walking by faith, keeping our eyes on the Lord, because we want to live a daring adventure of our spiritual life, or else our life will be nothing. Would you pray with me, please? Our Father, this is such a familiar story. Sometimes it loses its meaning for us. But I just pray that you'd help us to look at it with fresh eyes, that you would help us to be able to understand what the principle of this story is, and even why you wanted us to know about it in your word. Help us have the courage to go where you're asking us to go and do what you're asking us to do, but let us do it strong in our faith and connection to you, because we know without it we can do nothing on our own. Lord, help us to every day make that decision to walk with you by faith. And Lord, teach us, even when the storms come, that you're right there, ready to reach out your hand and lift us up. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Is my heart, Lord. just pray that you would show us, dear Father, where you want us to step out of the boat. But God, also teach us how to remain focused on you, so that the waves, dear Father, that will come along and crash next to us in this life will not impact, dear Father, our focus on you. God, thank you for Jesus. Thank you for his love. God, we just pray these things in your name.